Python is a general purpose programming language that's becoming popular within the data analytics and data science industry. So companies worldwide are using Python to harvest insight from their data sets and gain a competitive knowledge. So in this Python to data analysis or Python with data analysis or Python for data analysis, you will learn the powerful tools to manipulate and helpful data science tools to begin conducting your own analysis with Python. So welcome to the channel and welcome back to Excel Island. Welcome back to the new live stream that we're beginning today, which is Python for data analysis or Python data analysis in Python or data analysis with Python. It's kind of confusing, but it's still the same thing. So the goal and objective of this live stream is to learn and master our Python over the next 100 days. So we've done that consistently on this channel. So if you're new to the channel, we've done data analysis in SQL, data analysis in Microsoft Power BI or Power BI or data analyst in Power BI. So we've done a couple of live stream back, so we are kind of used to this type of content on this channel. We are starting a new one today called Data Analyst with Python, which is going to run for a period of 100 days. You get it now? So likely we may actually finish the whole learning content for this particular live stream before the 100, but the goal is to set a target of 100 days, files, exercise files, or Python files under a YouTube description, under a link in a link under the YouTube description. So do make sure to follow the link, download the files, and practice along with me. And I will show you all I'll be doing on the live stream directly or on my screen, so you can follow along with me. So without further ado, let's jump back to learning and let me introduce you to the course or resource to the course or content or course curriculum for this Python in data analysis. So welcome back to the channel. So my name is Sherifdeen. I'm a top rated plus freelance data analyst on the Upwork platform. So I'm currently looking to upskill myself to gain a competitive advantage within the data industry. So I'm kind of upskilling my toolbox. I'm upskilling my toolbox for this year 2024. So I've done SQL, I've done Power BI. Now I'm moving to Python, which is the last tool I probably want to learn for this year 2024 and begin building projects. I'm currently building portfolios in the background, especially SQL and Power BI portfolio based on the last live stream we've done. I'll be happy to share that on the channel also. You know, it's quite shooting a lot of content on this this type of contents on data analysis. It's kind of hard to shoot and compile together and edit. So it's going to take a while before that drops out. But hopefully you are going to see it on the channel, the project on SQL, the project on Power BI, then we move to project on Python. We can actually use same data set and see how we can analyze same data set within the three analytics tool and compare it to which one is more easy, which one is more popular like that. Well, Python is actually more popular among more used within the data analytics industry when you're talking about advanced programming languages. So I go to the career tag section here really quick. Sorry about that. So you can see that we've completed data analysis in SQL career track. We've completed data analysis in Python career track. So we're now moving to the data analysis with Python. Sorry, data analysis in Power BI rather here. And we are moving to data analysis with Python career track. So I click on it, you can see the whole course contents, the whole curriculum for this career track and how many hours, how long it's going to take. So this is estimated for 36 hours. By bets, we're actually going to spend more than 36 hours. And it contains 9 courses, 2 skill assessments, 5 projects. Interesting. The other SQL actually contains 3 projects. The Power BI contains 2 projects, likely 3 projects, yeah, but 2 projects. I love the fact that this Python actually contains 5 projects. So immediately you start getting your hands dirty, you know, playing with data sets. That's how you can add these projects to your portfolios while applying for jobs out there. So if you look at the course content, you can see the first one is introduction to Python, the intermediate Python. Immediately after the first 2 courses, the projects investigating Netflix movies. That is interesting. Then we have data manipulation with pandas and exploring. Immediately you complete this data manipulation with pandas. We are moving to exploring NYC Public School. We are moving to a project immediately. That by the way. Then journey data with pandas. Then introduction to statistics, introduction to data visualization with Seaborn. Immediately after that, next projects. So we have data manipulation another skill assessments also, then skill assessments here also. Then we have EDA with Python. And amazingly, if I did EDA in SQL, I did EDA in Power BI. So there's also EDA in Python here. That's quite interesting to see. Then you move to the next project, analyzing crime in Los Angeles. Then sampling in Python, hypothesis testing in Python, then final project. Because see, this is well packed, I believe. At least it may not be a fully embossed curriculum, but looking at it, it's well detailed, and this is a good place to start. Actually, I have a little bit of experience in the Python environment, especially with Jupyter Notebook. So I'm gonna bring in that. That is like the advantage I have. If you're new to Python, don't worry. I'll definitely guide you through to it because I've coded in Python before. I already coded in in Excel actually. That's in the VBA side of Excel. There are code here. I've written code in VBA. I've written code in SQL. I've written Dash code in Python or in Power BI rather. And I have a little bit of experience when I started learning Python a couple of years ago. So this is a good advantage. So I'll leave a link to the files, all the files that you can use also to practice with me. It will be linked under a YouTube description. So do click on the link to have access to those files. So without further ado, let's begin our Python journey. Also, let me just launch my Anaconda Navigator because I have to probably code in Jupyter Notebook or data camp. I have to use the interface on data camp. I just love to use my own local machine interface also to get familiar and find my way around actually analyzing data sets in that in my own local environment, especially when I'm working for a client. If I click on view course really quick here, you can see what we have here. Introduction. So the first one is introduction to Python. You can see we have Python basics. This is what we want to cover. We want to cover the chapter 1 in today's live stream. Interesting. So on this live stream, we are going to we'll be covering one chapter each, just to we don't want to rush too much. So the goal is to spend 1 hour daily, 45 minutes, 1 hour daily on this live stream, as you can see. So my Anaconda Navigator is up. So this is where I'm going to launch my Jupyter Notebook. If I click on this, it's going to open Jupyter Notebook on a web browser, on my web browser. So if you want to download this, all you need to go to is to go to just go to YouTube and search for Anaconda Navigator. I recommend you watch this and Alex the data analyst video. Let me just look for that video real quick. This Alex the data analyst video. So you could just search for this video, installing Jupyter Notebook Anaconda Python. So Alex did a good job explaining how to do that. So just search for this video if you want to actually download our Anaconda Navigator that will have access to a bunch of environments like Jupyter Notebook, like Spider for Python, like a whole lot of Python environment is available in this Anaconda Navigator. So I'll be using this along the way. But let's get started immediately. So let's start. So I believe data camp may likely have their own environments already prepared for the course, but I'll still prefer to use my own local environment. Okay, so let's get started. So welcome to day 1 of Python. I hope to see you every day till day 100. Probably we may not last up to day 100 until we complete the character arc, but I hope to see you till the last end of the day.
Hi, my name is Hugo, and I'll be your host for Introduction to Python for Data Science. I'm a data scientist and educator at DataCamp. In this course, you will learn Python for data science through video lessons, like this one, and interactive exercises. You get your own Python session where you can experiment and try to come up with the correct code to solve the instructions. You're learning by doing while receiving customized and instant feedback on your work. Python was conceived by Guido van Rossum. Here you can see a photo of me with Guido. What started as a hobby project soon became a general purpose programming language. Nowadays, you can use Python to build practically any piece of software. But how did this happen? Well, first of all, Python is open source. It's free to use. Second, it's very easy to build packages in Python, which is code that you can share with other people to solve specific problems. Throughout time, more and more of these packages specifically built for data science have been developed. Suppose you want to make some fancy visualizations of your company's sales. There's a package for that. Or what about connecting to a database to analyze sensor measurements? There's also a package for that. People often refer to Python as the Swiss Army knife of programming languages, as you can do almost anything with it. In this course, we'll start to build up your data science coding skills bit by bit, so make sure to stick around to see how powerful the language can be. Now that you're all eyes and ears for Python, let's start experimenting. I'll start with the Python shell, a place where you can type Python code and immediately see the results. In DataCamp's exercise interface, this shell is embedded here. Let's start off simple and use Python as a calculator. Let me type 4 plus 5 and hit enter. Python interprets what you typed and prints the result of your calculation, 9. The Python shell that's used here is actually not the original one. We're using IPython, short for interactive Python, which is some kind of juiced up version of regular, will be useful later on. IPython was created by Fernandez and is part of the broader Jupyter ecosystem. Apart from interactively working with Python, you can also have Python run so-called Python scripts. These Python scripts are simply text files with the extension .py. It's basically a list of Python commands that are executed almost as if you were typing the commands in the shell yourself, line by line. Let's put the command from before in a script now, which can be found here in DataCamp's interface. The next step is executing the script by clicking Submit Answer. If you execute this script in the DataCamp interface, there's nothing in the output pane. That's because you have to explicitly use print inside scripts if you want to generate output during execution. Let's wrap our previous calculation in a print call and rerun the script. This time, the same output as before is generated. Great. Putting your code in Python scripts instead of manually retyping every step interactively will help you to keep structure and avoid retyping everything over and over again if you want to make a change. You simply make the change in the script and rerun the entire thing. Now that you've got an idea about different ways of working with Python, I suggest you head over to the exercises. Use the IPython shell for experimentation and use the Python script editor to code the actual answer. If you click Submit Answer, your script will be executed and checked for correctness. Get coding and don't forget to have fun.
Okay, we're actually here to have fun. So I was mentioning something about IPython. If I look at my Anaconda navigator, I should see IPython somewhere here. Or I could easily just search for part of the EDA environment available here. PyCharm, Anaconda navigator, Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook. Definitely, that is part of the Jupyter Notebook. I believe that should be part of the Jupyter Notebook interface. Let's see. So it is the Python shell. Exactly. So your first Python code, it's time to run your first Python code. Head to the code and hit the run code to see the output. So hit the run code to see the output. If you click on run here, so you can see it's run to see the output. Print is going to return the comment. So these are the comments. Let me do the same thing on Jupyter Notebook. I kind of like getting familiar with my Python environment. So it's going to open it in a web browser. So I just navigate to, let me just do a quick navigation. So if I launch Jupyter Notebook for the first time, with the Jupyter Notebook from the Anaconda Navigator pane, so it's going to open that in a web browser for you. So I already showed you how to download the Jupyter Notebook to go and follow it, and unless the analyst video on YouTube. you understand how to download this easily. So I'm going to navigate to a folder on, so these are all the folders on my computer. So I'm going to navigate to a folder. Okay, let me navigate to a data cap resource folder. Um, so I'm after the Python folder. Okay, this is my data sets. So these are the folders I have here. So all I'll just create a file, a new file, a new notebook rather, in this folder. Let's see, it's going to open the notebook somewhere here. Select kernel. So I'm going to select Python 3. Preferred kernel should be Python 3. Just select. Okay. So I'm just going to rename this real quick. This is going to be IPython file. Sorry about that. So I'm going to name it probably my first intro to Python. Intro to Python. So I'll rename the file. So if I check my local machine here, I should see it in the dataset arena. Oh, it is actually there. So if I bring forth my folder here, so this is the folder I actually save it to. You see, so I kind of like, you can see the Python file here. That's how simple it is. So I'll just navigate to somewhere on my local machine. So the first code that we wrote here, let me see that. So they say it print 5 divided by 6. So I could just come here and type the same thing. Print 5 divided by 6. Let's see it run. You see, we got same result, 0.83333. So the other one was a comment. If I hit shift enter, okay. So I just hit enter there. So I'm going to drop a comment there. Where is the hashtag? No. So I'm looking for the dollar sign or symbol sign rather. So I'm actually looking for this sign. Let me see if I could copy the sign. Let me see. So I'm looking for this hashtag here. So I could just copy it from here. So I want to make a comment. So it's run. So that was the comment there. It's run code to see the output. So if I hit the run code now, you can see. So this is like a comment. So this code part of the code won't be run or ran, but it is this print part of the code that's going to be run and the result will be shown. I hope you understand that. So this is just like a comment. So if you use the hashtag here or the Naira symbol, this is like a Naira symbol in my country, our currency symbol. So I'm just trying to input a comment to make sure that you understand what this code is doing. I could just go on and give my explanation about the code. That's how it is, eh? So I'm enjoying the environment though. So let's continue let's submit the answer and see. Go on to the next one. So division. So I'm going to do a division for now. So any comments. So you can also add comment to Python scripts. Comments are important to make sure that you and others can understand what you do not run as a Python code. So exactly what we did here. So this is a comment we actually left above the code here that will actually be the one that will be interpreted. You get it now? So these are comments. It's as simple as that. So they start with hashtag. See the comments in the editor. So hash division. Now it's your turn to add a comment. So we could add a comment. Replace this with a comment. So how about this? We could say this hashtag. As you can see, I have it on my clipboard. Hash. We just say addition. So use addition. Print 7 plus 10. That should give us 17. If I run the code, you can see 17. So 8 divided by 5 divided by 8 is 0.65. I will just copy this code real quick and paste it in my own environment here. I could paste it in a second cell. You could see no error if I run the code. So I'll get same results. It's as simple as easy as that. So we are getting started simply. Okay. Ooh, okay. So I've been learning for the past 14 days. I'm kind of back to my usual daily streak where I don't miss any day of learning. So I'll definitely keep this up for this entire Python series. So Python as a calculator, you can actually use Python as a calculator. So Python is perfectly suited to do the basic calculation. It can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So the code in the script gives some example. Now it's your turn to practice. So let's print the sum. Print the sum of 4 plus 5. So quite straightforward. I'll just type print, open a bracket, then that should be 4 plus 5. So subtraction, print the result of subtracting 5 from 5. So it's going to be print 5 minus 5. So print the result of multiplying 3 by 5. It's going to be print, so I multiply 3 times 5. Then the final one is division. It's going to be print 10 divided by 2. 10 divided by 2. So if you run the code, you should see our result here. You can see, so this is the result. So I could just copy this code really quick here and flow with it in my own environment here. You can see if I should run the code. So I should get same result. You can see quite straightforward here. So that's how simple Python codes are. So we are getting simple. That's not how simple they are, but we are starting simple. So that's great. Python can help you do maths, a characteristics that will be helpful for analysis as well as we grow our data skills. So let's talk about variables in Python. We're moving to the next lesson. Variables in Python.
Well done and welcome back. It's clear that Python is a great calculator. If you want to do more complex calculations though, you will want to save values while you're coding along. You can do this by defining a variable with a specific case-sensitive name. Once you create or declare such a variable, you can later call up its value by typing the variable name. Suppose you measure your height and weight in metric units. You're 1.79 meters tall and weigh 68.7 kilograms. You can assign these values to two variables named height and weight with an equal sign. If you now type the name of the variable height, Python looks for the variable name, retrieves its value, and prints it out. Let's now calculate the body mass index, or BMI, which is calculated as follows, with weight in kilograms and height in meters. You can do this with the actual values, but you can just use the variable's height and weight, like here. Every time you type the variable's name, you're asking Python to reference the actual value of the variable. Weight corresponds to 68.7 and height to 1.79. Finally, this version has Python store the result in a new variable BMI. BMI now contains the same value as the one you calculated earlier. In Python, variables are used all the time. They help to make your code reproducible. Suppose the code to create the height, weight, and BMI variables are in a script like this. If you now want to recalculate the BMI for another weight, you can simply change the declaration of the weight variable and rerun the script. the BMI changes accordingly because the value of the variable weight has changed as well. So far, we've only worked with numerical values, such as height and weight. In Python, these numbers all have a specific type. You can check out the type of a value with the type function. To see the type of our BMI value, simply write type and then BMI inside parentheses. You can see that it's a float, which is Python's way of representing a real number. So a number which can have both an integer part and a fractional part. Python also has a type for integers, int, like this example. To do data science, you'll need more than ints and floats though. Python features tons of other data types. The most common ones are strings and booleans. A string is Python's way to represent text. You can use both double and single quotes to build a string, as you can see from these examples. If you print the type of the last variable here, you see that it's str, short for string. The boolean is a type that can either be true or false. You can think of this as yes and no in everyday language. Booleans will be very useful in the future to perform filtering operations on your data, for example. There's something special about Python data types. Have a look at this line of code that sums two integers, and then this line of code that sums two strings. For the integers, the values were summed, while for the strings were pasted together. The plus operator behaved differently for different data types. This is a general principle. How the code behaves depends on the types you're working with. In the exercises that follow, you'll create your first variables and experiment with some of Python's data types. I'll see you in the next video to explain all about lists. Let's get you coding. And I can't wait to see you in the next chapter, where you'll build even more awesome Python chops.
That's interesting. So the key takeaway here is that how the codes behave depend on the data type. That's pretty interesting. So variable assignments. So in Python, a variable allows you to refer to a value with a name. So to create a variable x with a value of y, you use the equal, like this example, x is equal to y. So the variable x has a value of y. So same thing. So you can now use the name of the variable x instead of the actual value 5. Remember, equals to in Python means assignment. It doesn't text equality. Try it in the exercise by replacing this line with your code. So create a variable savings with the value of 100. Create a variable savings. So the variable is going to be named savings. Savings. So the value for the variable is going to be value of 100. So we're going to print out, check out the variable by typing print savings. So we're going to say print savings, variable savings. So it's seeing it immediately in our local. If I click on run code, you can see we have hundreds now. So we created a variable. If I do the same thing, I'll copy this code. As usual, I go to my own Jupyter notebook here. I paste that. So we do the same thing, I think. If I run the code, you see it just show 100 immediately. It's not going to return the variable created as it does as it did the rather in Python in the IPython shell. Okay, this is another slide. Let's stick to this. Let's submit the answer to see. So that's quite straightforward. So calculations with variables. So you've now created a saving variable. So let's start saving. Instead of calculating with the actual value, you can use variables instead. So how much money would you have saved 4 months from now if you saved $10 each month? So we're going to create a variable monthly savings. Create the variable monthly savings. So let's call it monthly underscore savings equals to, so equals to 10 and number of months equal to 4. Okay. Create monthly savings is equal to 10 and number of months variable num underscore. So if you want to have two names for your variable, you have to put an underscore. Month equals to 4 So next is to multiply monthly savings by number of months and assign it to new savings. I'm going to assign this. I'm going to say that should be, how do we multiply that? So monthly savings. So going to be monthly savings. So we're going to call on the variable name, not the value of the variable. Lines number of months. You can see. So now we're going to print this new savings. Let's say print new underscore savings. So then we print new underscore savings. We run the code now. You can see we have our results now. So we could print 40. I just copy my code as usual again and give it a shot in my own Jupyter notebook here. Interesting. Let's see. Ooh, voila, straightforward. So we'll have saved $10, $40 in 4 months. Pretty straightforward there. So let's submit the answer. So these are basic simple Python. So I could be using keyboard shortcuts. Never, not really necessary. So let's continue. So other variable types. So in the previous exercise, you worked with the integer Python data type. So in the previous exercise, which was this variable exercise that we did right here, we're actually working with integers only, the data type. So we've learned all about variables and data types. So int or integer, a number without a fractional part, savings without a fractional part. Savings with the value of 100 is an example of an integer. So next to numerical data types, there are three other very common data types. There are definitely more data types. So there's floats, so of floating points. So a number that has both an integer and fractional parts separated by a point. So one is an example of a float. So we call it decimal. Should we say this is a decimal number or this is a float? Probably there's another data type called decimal though. So strings, or string, str or string, with a type to represent text. You can use to build a string. So you can use single or double quotes. So boolean, bool or boolean, a type to represent logical values. So it can only be true or false. So the capitalization is important. So this is case sensitive. You have to make sure you're capitalizing true, the capital letter T there, and false. So create a new float half with the value 0.5. So create a variable half. So I'm going to call a variable called half. I'm going to assign 0.5 to our variable. So create a variable intro. So create a new string intro with the value hello, how are you? So going to be, which is the string str data type, going to be called value. So I can use single quote or double quotes. Let's use double quotes. So it's going to be hello, how are you? How are you? So the last variable we're going to create with the data type boolean is going to be is good with the value true. So I'm going to ask you variable is good, the value is going to be true. So let's run the code and see. So you can see it's run all the variables. So I'll just copy this and I use my own Jupyter notebook. Okay. You can see the variable was created successfully. So that's why we didn't get any error. So you can actually use AI in Jupyter Notebook too. Interesting. If you have some AI features there. Ooh. So I could duplicate this cell. I could move the cell up. Insert cell below. I could delete the cell. So cool update to Jupyter Notebook. So we created this variable, so it is working fine there. Let's submit and see. Ooh, there's an incorrect submission somewhere. How do I know that? Let's create a new float half with the value 0.5. Because there's an incorrect submission here. This is my line of code is wrong. Intro. Okay. So something is incorrect in your intro variable. Double check the spelling and make sure you've used your quotation marks. Hello. Okay, probably because I didn't put question mark there. Okay, see, that's quite funny though. So we are still finding the same. You can see hello, how are you? That's quite funny though. We haven't run into error since we started though. But you can't be 100% right every time. Because my code is working fine here. Oh. It's just the submission on DataCamp platform that will start giving you a couple of errors. Mhm. Create a new string intro with the value hello, how are you? Okay. What could be wrong though? Or use a single quote. Then let's see. So I see getting this. Okay. So it's usual you run into error. Sometimes you can't be 100% right every time. Create a variable intro. You've created the variable intro with the value hello, how are you? Okay, let's take a int though. But let's try to troubleshoot it ourselves first before we start taking it. Uh, so let's get the AI help though. Let's see what the AI is going to say. Imagine. I actually wrote the same thing though. So what's now the difference? For my line of code, okay, fine. It's using double quote. I'm using single quote. Now we've used double quote. Let's see. So you can see. So if probably from okay, let's copy this then. It's not going to accept it too. You see how funny it is? I typed the same thing though. Oh, seriously. We created the same value though. Okay, that's by the way. Well, fine, we understood what we needed to do. So a variable for string data type intro, then you just merge it with this. Did the AI int help with your incorrect answer? No, it didn't help because I actually got the correct answer myself. Okay, I think we're on the last operation with other data types on the last lesson here. So operation with other data types. So variables come in different types in Python. You can see the types of a variable. You can see the type of a variable by using type, then open and close bracket. For example, to see the type of A, execute type A. So different types behave differently in Python. When you sum two strings, for example, you get different behavior than when you sum two integers or two booleans. So time for you to test this out. So add savings and new savings and assign it to total savings. So let's add savings and new savings and we assign it to total savings. Okay, so we have to create a total savings here. So total savings is going to be savings and new savings. That should be savings plus new savings. So it's assigned to total savings. Now we're going to print the type of total savings. Print total savings. Total savings. Let's run the code. You can see so our total savings is so I'm printing total savings twice there. So this is the type of total savings. Print the type of total savings. Print total savings. Then print the type. Okay. So it's also the type here. I don't even need to use prints here for it. But let's see. Okay, let me see. Print. If I say type total savings, let's see it again. So now So I see the class is int now. So that kind of different. So type total savings is int. So let's copy the same code here and make use of it in my Jupyter notebook. Let's see. Now let's run this code. You can see so I have same results here. So 140, and the class is integer. So the data type for total savings is integer. That's quite straightforward. So now calculate the sum of intro and assign the result to double intro. Print out double intro. Did you expect this? So intro is hello, how are you? Assign the sum of intro to double intro. The sum of intro, so it's going to be a new variable called double intro. So we are introducing you 2 times. Double intro is going to be intro plus intro. So let's see the results. Print out double intro. So let's print out double intro. If I run the code, you can see we have hello, how are you twice without a space here. So if I do the same, let's copy the same line of code really quick. Go to see and double check on my Jupyter notebook. If you run the code, you can see hello, how are you. You could have forced a space here. So let me just force a space to make the code to be neat. So what I could have done is just say plus space here. If I run the code again, let's see. Ooh, I can't force a space. Ooh. Okay, I have to. Oh, sorry. I'm missing a plus there. That's why. You can see now. So there's a space in my double intro now. So I copy this again. Copy this line of code. So if I run the code now, so then there's a space between hello, how are you, hello, how are you. So that's straightforward. So I think we nailed this part of our introduction to Python. Oh, okay. I'm not supposed to do this double intro stuff here. So that's just me adding some extra knowledge. Now let's see. Without errors. Okay. Oh, let's see. Print out double into this. Do you expect this? Oh, there's an error. See? Then let's submit now. Oh, what's the error again? Did you define the variable double into without errors? So you could see. So nice. Notice how intro plus intro causes hello, how are you and hello, how are you to be passed together. So interesting introduction to Python here. So Python list. So the next one is Python list, which will be for day 2 live stream. So we just definitely have to. So the goal is 45 minutes, 1 hour on each chapter daily on the live stream. So let's stop here for today and we continue tomorrow, day 2. All right, so thanks for staying to the end of the live stream. So if you find value in this Python learning journey with me, do well to support the channel by giving the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and put on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever I go live or start I'll continue the Python challenge. So expect other data analysis project on the SQL and on Power BI from the previous live stream learning journey on the channel. So I'm working on that as as soon as possible, as well as expected. You have to be patient and do it bit by bit. So I'll see you on day 2 live stream. Do well to watch other videos on the channel and hit that subscribe button to support the channel and put on the notification bell. I'll bye.